Why incorporate exercises that load the plantar fascia for runners? When some runners think about working this region, they think of some form of massage or stretching. While this may be helpful to calm things down, is this really the best way to prepare for running? Let's talk about the role of your plantar fascia more. This region of the foot does some interesting things as you run. As you land, this region is a bit more relaxed. This allows for more mobility in the foot to do things like spread, so it can better absorb the impact during the landing. Then, as the foot gets ready to leave the ground, the plantar fascia does another fascinating thing. When the foot gets into this position, you'll notice the big toe getting positioned like so, commonly known as big toe extension. Being in this position causes the plantar fascia to tighten up and turn the foot from a more loose, mobile structure to a more rigid, solid unit. By doing so, it shifts the focus of the foot from absorbing forces to generating forces. By stabilizing the foot in this position at this moment of the running cycle, this optimizes force generated through the legs as you run. This is known as a windlass mechanism. Now, if you really think about it, it's incredible to imagine that the plantar fascia can stabilize and hold the bones in the foot together in this position as it supports the entire body. Then, think about the forces that are pushing down on it, where forces, specifically known as ground reaction forces, can be around 3 to 5 times your body weight as you run. That's a lot of load demands placed on the plantar fascia. So perhaps, incorporating exercises in a way that both load the plantar fascia and builds capacity in that region would better prepare you for running compared to simply just rolling or stretching it. Now, let's go over some fun ways to do that. One of the most common ways I load this region is through heel raises. However, if you want to bias the plantar fascia more, you can roll up a small sock under the big toe or use something like the fasciitis fighter. By the way, this is not a sponsored video. By putting the big toe into a more extended position, this causes the windlass mechanism to occur where it begins to put tension and load up the plantar fascia. Another fun way to bias this region is the front foot elevated split squats. To clarify, this is not the same as the Bulgarian split squat or a rear foot elevated split squat. Instead of putting most of your weight in the front foot, you actually put most of it in your back leg. And that front foot is more so used for balance. If you take a look at the foot, you can see how the foot is going through that windlass mechanism under the load of your body. It's also an interesting way to load the quads, but we can talk more about that in another video. Anyway, those are just a few ways to load up the plantar fascia. Remember that this is just for educational purposes only, and it should not serve as a replacement for medical advice. If you are dealing with persistent pain in the foot, I highly recommend reaching out to a healthcare professional. And that's all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your thoughts or any questions you may have. And as always, thank you for watching.